As a young child, Dwyane was quiet. He was pretty active. He was shy, so to speak, and he was a little timid.
I just remember her, she always used to ask me, she'd always say, who your favorite girl? And I used to always say, you, Mom, you, Mom. She still asks me to this day, she's still your favorite girl, and I still say, you, Mom.
He was a mama's boy. You know, he basically stayed glued to me.
You know, I just remember the good times we had together. I was her only boy. She really wanted to get to know me and my personality, and we had a lot of talks, you know, whether it was early in the morning, whether it was late nights, you know, we just communicated.
Dwyane and I have two older sisters. We grew up on the east side of Chicago. Back then, the place we stayed at was very close to the project areas. Dwyane seen a lot of the drug selling.
He seen the fighting going on around there. He heard the shooting. He knew about times when he had to fall down up under the bed or something like that there, or the police knocking down, busting in doors and stuff, because in the building I stayed in, it was drug infested.
I always wanted to do opposite of what I seen. You know, I never wanted to do what people was doing in the neighborhood, because to me, nobody never really got out. I didn't see that as being exciting. You know, I seen maybe the opposite part of life being exciting, and it's just the way that I always thought to myself that I'm gonna be different. I'm not gonna be like everyone else.
The obstacles I had to overcome in my life was drugs. I became a heroin addict, and I was an alcoholic. You know, in and out of penitentiary. You know, it was a lot of obstacles that had me buried.
You know, just seeing my mother, you know, sick most of the time. You know, not seeing her at home, seeing her crying many nights.
It hurt not being able to be the mother that I know I was to my children. As
a young boy who loves his mother, who is a mama's boy, you know, would not like to see his mother that way. So it was a lot of nights for me of crying of tears just because I see her pain.
It was real difficult. I lost who I was. In the midst of it all, they never stopped loving me. On October 14, 2001, that was the day the decision was made that no more drugs, no more alcohol.
It was a joyful time for all of us, you know, because of the decision that she was making. It was a scary time because we know that it's not easy. You know, we know that, you know, some people have relapses, they go back, and, you know, so it's a scary time because you got to keep a close eye on her and make sure that she feels loved and she feels that everybody wants her to do this.
When I was in prison, me and Dwyane became pen pals. We wrote each other regularly. His letters, they strengthened me.
I knew my mother needed me. Like I said, I was the only boy, you know, at the time. I'm the only man in her life. And even though I'm young, I know that she needs me. She needs that, just to write her and just to give her words of encouragement. Not even putting nothing on the paper, just I love you. And I used to do that, just send a letter and just say I love you.
And he would tell me he loved me, and he would tell me about the baby that was getting ready to be born. He kept me lifted up. He actually gave me the will to really want to do this thing, to really want to do this mother thing. So he gave me that drive.
I know she needed me, and, you know, once I started writing, she started writing, we just kept it going. And I'm not the kind of person who really expresses my feelings too much, but I can do it. I can write it down on paper and express it to my mother.
He told me one time I was his biggest hero because he said he realized how hard it was for me to go back into the prison system just so that I could come out and be a better mom for him.
She's got out of prison, a week earlier, and I was really trying to get her to come because it was my last home game, and I wanted her to see it. You know, she never seen me in that light before, and I wanted her to really be there to share the experience with me.
But I finally got to see that man of mine play in college. It was breathtaking.
She was very emotional about it because, you know, this is, like she said, this is stuff that you see on TV. You know, this is not stuff that you see happen to your son coming from where you remember us coming from. You know, that was a real important time for her.
I don't know who I was that day. I was his fan, I was his mama. I cried, I laughed. I was just excited about what he had in him. I did not know that thing existed in this guy.
It's crazy to me when we get together, all the stories that come back to my head, all the things I really remember from my childhood, and then we can laugh upon it now and smile about it now, but back then it wasn't funny. When
we look at each other, we'll be like, can you believe it? You know, we're here. We have to sometimes pinch ourselves and make sure that this thing is really real. And I always ask him the question, have it hit you yet? And he said, not yet, Mom. But our relationship is so, man, it's so special. What can I say? It is just so special as mother and son.
My mother is truly blessed. You know, for her to go from where she was to being a pastor today and really saving lives to the point where, you know, it could have been possible she could lose her own. And that's remarkable. And, you know, that's the story. That's my hero.